The Anderson household in Amsterdam was usually filled with laughter during supper. The scent of roasted potatoes and herbs drifted across the dining room, and the warm glow of the chandelier softened the faces gathered at the table. Yet on this evening, an unusual tension clung to the air. Freja Anderson sat quietly, pushing food around her plate. Her parents, Henrik and Marianne, chatted politely about work and neighbors, but their voices carried an undertone of restlessness. Across the table, Clara, her elder sister, watched Freja with a peculiar gleam in her eyes. The silence stretched longer than it should. Then Clara set down her fork, folded her hands, and spoke in a tone sharp enough to cut the air.
Mom, Dad.
There is something you should know about Freja. Freja's stomach tightened. She froze mid-breath, sensing the trap before it was sprung. Her parents turned their attention to Clara, confusion settling in their eyes. "What do you mean, Clara?" asked Marianne, her voice careful. Clara leaned forward, her smile brittle. "She has been keeping secrets. Secrets she does not want you to know." The words dropped like stones into the silence. Henrik frowned. "Freja, is this true?" Freja's pulse thundered in her ears. Her throat felt dry. She shook her head, but her voice refused to come out. Clara's smirk widened. "You see, she will not even deny it properly." Marianne set down her knife and fork with a trembling hand. "Clara, please. This is a serious accusation." "It is not an accusation," Clara replied, her tone silky and cruel. "It is the truth. And I am tired of protecting her." Freja's hands clenched beneath the table. Anger rose, mingled with hurt. Betrayal pierced deeper than she imagined possible. But in the shadow of Clara's words, another thought began to stir inside her. If her sister wished to expose her secrets, then perhaps it was time to uncover Clara's. Freja raised her head slowly, her eyes meeting Clara's across the table. The faintest flicker of fear flashed across Clara's face before she masked it with another cold smile. The dinner table fell silent again, heavy with unspoken truths. Later that evening, the house grew quiet. The plates had been cleared, and Henrik retreated to his study while Marianne busied herself in the kitchen. Freja remained in her room, the dim lamplight casting long shadows on the walls. She lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling, her chest tight with rage. Clara's betrayal replayed in her mind like a broken record. Each word sharpened into a blade. A soft knock echoed against her door. It opened slightly, revealing Clara's silhouette. "We should talk," she whispered. Freja sat up, her jaw tense. "Why would I talk to you after what you did?" Clara stepped inside, closing the door behind her. Her expression was unreadable. "Because you do not want our parents to know everything, do you?" The word struck Freja like ice water. "You think you have power over me?" Clara leaned closer, her voice low. "I know I do." Freja stared back, her anger simmering. Yet she caught something in Clara's eyes. Hesitation, almost fear. There was more to her sister's confidence than she admitted. And Freja intended to find out. The following day, Freja searched for answers. Clara had always been meticulous with her belongings, but secrets left traces. When the house emptied, Freja slipped into her sister's room. The scent of perfume lingered in the air. She scanned the desk, the drawers, the shelves stacked with books. At first, everything appeared ordinary. Then she noticed a small box tucked beneath the bed. She pulled it out carefully. Inside lay a bundle of letters, tied with a ribbon, each addressed to Clara. The handwriting was unfamiliar, elegant, and precise. Freja opened one. Her breath caught as she read the words. It was not a simple letter, it was a warning. References to meetings at odd hours, instructions written in code, and veiled threats. Her heart pounded. Clara was hiding something far larger than a teenage secret. Before she could read further, the sound of footsteps echoed in the hall. Freja quickly shoved the box back, her fingers trembling. The door creaked open. Clara stood there, her eyes narrowing. "What are you doing in my room?" Freja froze, her pulse racing. "Nothing. I was just looking for a book." Clara stepped forward, her gaze sharp as glass. She looked at the desk, then back at Freyja. You touched something, did you not? Freyja lifted her chin defiantly. And if I did, you are not the only one with power, Clara. Clara's lips curled into a faint smile, but her eyes betrayed unease. You do not know what you are dealing with. The sisters stood in silence, the air between them thick with hostility. Then Clara spoke again, her voice trembling for the first time. If you tell them what you found, you will put us all in danger. Not just me. The warning lingered in the room like smoke. Freyja stepped back slowly, unsettled. For the first time, she wondered whether Clara's secret was not simply shameful but dangerous. Days passed, and Freyja watched her sister carefully. One evening, she noticed Clara slipping out of the house after dinner. Curiosity gripped her. She followed at a distance, through the narrow streets of Amsterdam. The canals reflected the moonlight, and bicycles rattled past, their bells echoing softly. Clara turned into an alleyway near the Jordan district. She met with a man dressed in a dark coat, his face half hidden beneath a cap. They spoke in hushed voices, their gestures sharp and urgent. Freyja strained to hear, but caught only fragments. Words like documents, risk, and payment. Suddenly, the man glanced over Clara's shoulder. His eyes met Freyja's in the shadows. Her heart lurched. She turned and fled, her footsteps pounding against the cobblestones. Behind her, Clara called out her name. Back at the house, Freyja locked her door, her chest heaving. She could not ignore the truth any longer. Clara was entangled in something dark. The next morning, she confronted her sister in the kitchen. I saw you last night. I know you are meeting someone. Tell me what this is about. Clara froze, the spoon in her hand clattering into the sink. For a moment, silence filled the room. Then she whispered, You should not have followed me. Freyja's eyes narrowed. If you expose me again, I will expose you. To Mum. To Dad. To everyone. Clara's hands shook as she gripped the edge of the counter. You do not understand, Freyja. If they find out, it will not only destroy me. It will destroy us all. Later that week, Freyja returned to Clara's room when she was sure her sister had gone. She retrieved the box again and unfolded a letter from the bottom of the pile. This one was different. It was written in Danish, their family's native tongue, with a seal at the bottom. She recognized the emblem faintly. It was linked to an organization her father had once whispered about late at night, an organization involved in politics and business far beyond their world. The words chilled her. If your sister speaks, we will silence her. Do not fail us again. Freyja's hands trembled. They were threatening her. Not only Clara, but her as well. The floor creaked. Freyja spun around. Clara stood in the doorway, her eyes blazing. Clara stepped forward, snatching the letter from Freyja's hands. Her voice shook with fury. You do not know what you have done. Freyja stood her ground. Tell me everything, or I will go to our parents right now. Clara's face twisted with conflict. Finally, she sank into the chair, her head in her hands. They have something over me. I owed them, and I could not pay. So I did things I am not proud of. If I resist, they threaten you. Freyja's anger melted into dread. So all this time, you were protecting yourself by exposing me. Clara looked up, tears brimming in her eyes. I had no choice. For the first time, Freyja saw fear rather than cruelty in her sister's face. Yet the danger was far from over. The threats grew bolder. Anonymous notes appeared at the door. Strange calls filled the night. Henrik and Marianne began to notice their daughter's unease, though neither girl dared speak the truth. One evening, the family gathered for supper once more. The atmosphere was strained, brittle. Then a loud knock shook the front door. Henrik rose, frowning, but Clara leapt to her feet. Do not open it, she cried. The pounding grew louder. Freyja's heart raced. Shadows moved across the frosted glass of the entryway. Voices in harsh tones demanded to be let in. The family stared at Clara, confusion and terror in their eyes. She whispered, They have come for me. The door burst open. Two men in dark coats entered, their faces cold and resolute. Henrik moved to protect his family, but one of the intruders raised a hand. "We are not here for you," he said, his gaze fixed on Clara. "She belongs to us." Freyja stood, her fists clenched.
No.
"She belongs here, with us." The men exchanged a look, their eyes narrowing. Then one of them revealed a folder, thick with documents. He dropped it onto the dining table. "Read it. Then decide whether you still want her." The folder lay between them, its presence heavy, ominous. Henrik reached for it with trembling hands, while Clara's face drained of color. Freyja's breath caught in her throat. She knew that whatever lay inside would tear open every secret her sister had tried to bury. The room fell silent, the future of the Anderson family hanging by a thread.